Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? As I said from my last video that I did with adolescents, I am coming back in full effect with Married at First Sight Australia series 12. We are now on episode 7 where the couples have moved in together and it's confessions week. So I was just like, what fresh hell will this week bring? We know that Tim we ain't seen yet. We know that there's no Lauren because Elliot has decided to no longer come back. So we know Lauren left after the dinner party. We see that Karina and Paul are on cloud 9. Jake basically is unpacking with Ashley. They seem to be getting on okay. But this man has fishing gear with him. I'm just like, where are you going to go fishing gear? Are you using it really as like everyday, all day clothing? Because that's weird. That's absolutely weird. Yeah. So Fuina is excited to be in the place with Adrian. I really, well and truly, this is my opinion in terms of watching the episodes that I've watched thus far. I don't think Adrian and Fuina should be together. Yes, they have this ultimate connection. Yes, they have the chemistry. Yes, they have all of that. But at the end of the day, you can't forget that Fuina has a child. And Adrian literally hasn't decided whether he will be the type of person that will be able to accept someone else's child in his life that and above any other child that he may have. Because he's still of the vein, still of the thought, yeah, that should be a first with someone else's first, and it's not going to be a first in terms of him being a parent if he were to stay with Fuina. So I'm kind of thinking that, you know what, these two kind of gloss over this situation. They don't get to the heart of the matter, which is what I think they should do. Adrian does decide, like, you know, they're going to do an appreciation jar and write things in it, like each day what they've done with the other and what they appreciate with the other, and then at the end of the week then they will read out what they wrote. And I mean, that's all well and good, but sometimes I think it's best to verbalize those things and show appreciation in your actions to the person that you're with, rather than having to literally write it down each day and then at the end of the week you read them back, because the essence of it is already gone. You ain't showing that appreciation at the time that it did happen. That's just me. That's just me at the end of the day. And I'm kind of thinking, I wonder how long that would last with them two, because I don't think it will. So we see Jackie and Ryan. Again, they're another couple that I don't think will get on well living together, because the issues already started. Jackie is striving for perfection, yeah. And even though she says she wants a man to take the lead, yeah, she hasn't allowed for Ryan to do that at the end of the day. Ryan also believes himself to be a warrior and is quite protective, and he's one of those men that wants to take the lead, but he hasn't shown himself to be any of those things either, to be fair. So you see Ryan, he's laying down, kind of half laying on the couch, and he has his shoes on. But his shoes are not actually touching the couch material. They're hanging off the edge. So Jackie's there, like, her mind is just like, oh my God, he's got his shoes on the couch. He has to take them off. And this girl's trying to physically wrestle this man to take these shoes off his feet. And he's telling her, stop doing that. So as the time goes on, you see Jackie trying to exert her authority over what's going to happen within the household, so setting down ground rules, which ain't a bad thing if you're able to talk about those ground rules of in acceptance of each other and listen to each other when you set down those ground rules. But Jackie was not doing that. She literally was saying this will be a shoes off household, and expecting Ryan to literally just go with it. Ryan was not on that page with her, let me just say. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have a shoes off household type of thing at the end of the day, because you have to think that you're walking in your everyday shoes. You're going to walk into your yard and walk whatever you walked into your yard. So I don't mind that, but it's just the way that Jackie went about it at the end of the day. Ryan is way too laid back for Jackie, and I think Jackie is too highly fully strung for Ryan. I think you would have thought that with their personalities the way that they would complement each other, but right now I think they're just literally trying to find fault with each other at the end of the day. This woman turns around and has a beach fit because there's a TV in the bedroom. She's telling this man that he can't watch TV in the bedroom, and if he wants to watch TV, he needs to go into the lounge. Ryan's telling her, don't tell me what I can and can't do at the end of the day. So she sits there, she's talking to producers, and Jackie's telling them that she believes that people are dumbing their brains by watching TV. And I just thought to myself, that is kind of like a hypocritical statement when you're literally on a reality TV show, knowing full well that people will be watching this show in order to see what is going on with you lot and your lives and your marriages. So that made no sense to me. Jackie's off the wall, like seriously off the wall. So at that, you see Ryan leave the room, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how this man is going to deal with all of this, because Jackie's too enough. She does way too much, like really way too much. You see Jackie telling Ryan that it's a non-negotiable in terms of him watching TV in the bedroom if they're going to bed or she's in there. And Ryan basically tells her, you don't tell me what a non-negotiable is, thank you. And I'm kind of like, at the end of the day, yes, I believe that Jackie is overstrong with herself. But then on the flip side, Ryan can't really tell Jackie what her non-negotiables are or not. She ain't saying it's his non-negotiable. She's saying that it's hers. It's a pathetic non-negotiable in my books, and it's a pathetic thing to argue about. But hey ho, this is Jackie in a nutshell. This is Jackie in a nutshell. This woman literally is crying over a damn TV in the bedroom. All I'm going to have to say is I just literally lost half a brain cell just watching them two and listening to Jackie. Like, seriously. So, you see, the couples are literally talking about what happened with Lauren, the dinner party, and Elliot's no-show. The couples chat about the fact that Elliot's behaviour showed his real disrespect of Lauren, and then they talk about the issues that arose with Katie, Tim, and the issue in regards to Jamie defending Katie. Jamie went hard to out Tim, let's just put it that way. And the reason why Jamie went hard to out Tim is because people were starting to question Katie, because Tim was giving them the impression that Katie was the issue when she was not. She wasn't at all. Katie truly tried with this man, like truly tried, and Tim would not reciprocate no matter what Tim says. Yeah, the video evidence of what we've seen recorded, yeah, refutes everything that he claims that this man tried and that it's all Katie's fault that it didn't work out. Refutes it to hell and back at the end of the day. So how he can sit there and try and still continue to blame this woman for how shit has turned out is beyond me, to be honest with you. And it sucks even more as Katie actually does turn up to the apartments without him. And I'm just like, at this point, Katie, my love, you literally need to see it as it is. You know what it is. You know what this man is about, and literally cut bait now, because this is too enough at the end of the day. So Tim didn't turn up at the apartments. It's the fact that Katie was still there, willing to try with this man over her own sense of self-preservation, is what got me, to be honest with you. Tim has shown so many times his disrespectful nature of Katie. He's shown her so many times that he does not like her. So I thought at this point, especially at the end of the dinner party, it was time to let him go. So Katie's basically showing how low she really feels in the face of rejection. But in terms of the face of rejection of Tim, it's the rejection after the rejection, because she's been on her own for nigh on 10 years at the end of the day, because she keeps on getting thrown over by men, and it must be taking some type of emotional toll on her. And Tim, I think, was the precipice of that toll at the end of the day. So Katie's talking about that she will stay passionate, she will stay strong and empathetic, because she came there to be on a journey with someone. But I just thought that someone is not Tim, my love. It really is not Tim. I thought there's no shame in walking away. And sometimes some of these women, especially on this show, need to be strong in doing that. That there's no shame in saying, you know what, I've tried my best. It's not going to work. You are not going to disrespect me any further. I'm done, I'm leaving, and leave. There's no shame in doing that at the end of the day, because I don't understand why Katie was still there convincing herself that she still needed to try, even though this man didn't see her as such, didn't respect her as such, and continued to mistreat her. So they're asking Katie if they know where Tim is. She don't know where Tim is. I don't know why they asked that. They asked the same thing of Lauren. How would they know unless these people are getting in contact with them? At the end of the day, we all know Tim was not going to get in contact with Katie because he expected Katie to run behind his backside because he thinks he's such a bloody prize at the end of the day when he is not. So the producers speak to Katie and basically told Katie that Tim has decided that he's not moving in. He decided to cut and run back to his hometown of Melbourne. I would say that was the best damn thing he could have done, really. Like, seriously, put Katie out of her damn misery and give Katie the space to collect her thoughts, even though he went back to Melbourne to collect his thoughts and then said, like, then he will see where he goes from there. I just thought, man, stay wherever it is that you are and don't come back. And at this point, Katie should have said, you know what, I'm not waiting for him. The marriage is over, I'm gone. Self-preservation was the key. Get out while you can. Because nothing is going to work with this man. Like, absolutely nothing. When Katie heard the words from the producer's mouth in regards to what Tim had done, she did sit there and she said, well, he's a selfish, and they were going to put the next bit, but I think it may have been a swear word, and I thought, I'm with your sister on that one at the end of the day. I'm with ya. So we go back to Jackie and Ryan. So Ryan decides to take his shoes off and place them on the freshly made bed. At first I was asking why, and I thought it was setting Jackie off no end. But then I thought to myself, you know what? These two are quite petty people. So I'm kind of thinking that Ryan did that to piss Jackie the fuck off. Like, seriously, because he already knew what this woman was like in regards to the dirty shoes on the chair, to the dirty shoes being placed X, Y, and Z. And then he decides to take them off and just literally put them on the made bed. Yeah. So Jackie continues with, like, she's tried to ask Ryan to do stuff around the house, and his response to her is, I don't like being told what to do. I would say, reading between the lines and seeing how Jackie asks Ryan to do things, I don't believe she was asking. She was demanding. Yeah, so that is going to set a person off, no matter if it's a man or a woman saying certain things to you. It's going to set someone off as to say, don't tell me what to do. I don't like being told what to do, because Jackie weren't asking at the end of the day. And she said that she tried the passive-aggressive tactic on Ryan. I don't know why you would admit that on Broadback TV, but hey ho. So then she's asking for advice from the mums in the world on what to do if you have a dirty boy in the house, to get them to clean up after themselves. And I thought, and this is why Ryan's going to piss Jackie off all the more whenever he can, you know, when it comes to stuff like this, because this gal is really treating this man like he is a total child. I honestly believe that Ryan and Jackie are both just adult children at this point, and they just don't know, never known how to play with people. I don't know how they've got as far as they've got as far to at the moment, to be honest. In comes the confessions week, so they end up having a series of tasks throughout the week to help them be vulnerable with one another. But I think for some couples it may bring more than what they had bargained for, which is what the experts want them to do. So the first task is the test of attraction. So it's the photo task, yeah? So basically they're rating the other couples of who they find most attractive. And then you have to then place your wife or your husband on where you think they fall in regards to your view of them being attractive to you. This does not really work out well for some people, because they don't necessarily understand the concept of the task itself. Some are just too brutally honest, yeah, and some I don't think are honest enough, to be fair. So we have Afwina and Adrian going first. So Adrian is confident that he will be at the top of the list for Afwina. And of course she put Adrian first, of course, because literally she likes Adrian. She has this chemistry with Adrian. She just likes the look of him and everything like that. And all I would say is, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because yeah, Adrian is, he's not all he's cracked up to be honest with you. So it goes to see what Adrian does. So Adrian talks about how he will pick the most attractive to him. Although he talks about Sierra, like, you know, her being tall and dark haired is his type, whereas Hafwina is short and blonde. Okay, but Hafwina is beautiful too. So he did put Hafwina first, but by what Adrian was saying to the producers before he did that, yeah, about Ree as well, makes me think he chickened out, because he said all the dark haired girls were all his top basically, but Adrian says Hafwina will be his top pick 100%. Something tells me that he was not honestly being truthful with that task, but hey ho, there it is. So we go to Karina and Paul. He put her first too, which he was going to do because them two are completely in with each other. I don't really have anything to say about them. And she put Paul first, which wasn't surprising to be honest. So we go to Jackie and Ryan, and I thought this is going to go to hell in a handbasket. It is going to be a major disaster between them two, because these two are somehow striving for perfection when they're not perfect themselves. So Jackie is basically talking about how she's attracted to Jeff due to his tallness, but she did put Ryan first. But the way in which she put Ryan first, there was a lot of hesitation, like full on hesitation, that I kind of believed that Jackie wasn't being truthful with her pick at the end of the day. So we go to Ryan's turn. And Ryan is really stating why he put people where, and it does come down to the attraction for him. So he's very clinical in the way that he starts picking apart these women. So he put Marina last, he put Ashley, then Katie, then Hafwina. Now Jackie is sitting there believing that Ryan will put her first. And I thought, well, we'll see if Ryan is openly honest with his ratings. So he put Sierra next, because Sierra's pretty to him, but she's too tall. He put Karina next, and then he put Ree next, who were his top choices basically. And I thought to myself, mate, please don't do the brutal honesty right now, because have you met your wife? Like, seriously, there's no need to go into the depth that he was going into when he was talking about Sierra, Karina and Ree at the end of the day. I'm telling you, Ryan doesn't know how to read a room. So Ryan continued to wax poetic about Ree. And he was talking about how it's her blue eyes against the dark hair is a weakness for him. And I was like, well, damn, say what you really want to say, Ryan. So Jackie is fully expecting to be put first. As the expectation is in this task that you would put either your husband or your wife first if you want a happy life. But no. Not Ryan. Not Ryan at all. Ryan put Jackie third. And I thought, I can't really fault him at the end of the day, because he was being brutally honest in terms of what the task asked for, in terms of attractiveness to him. But I'm just kind of like, but he went attractiveness by looks. He doesn't necessarily know the other women, but in essence, he knows his wife, and he must have found her lacking, so he placed her third. Jackie was not happy with that. Like, she was not happy with that at all. I thought this man continues with, he would have put Jackie equally attractive with Sierra if Sierra was not so tall. So if Sierra wasn't tall, yeah, which he found a bit of a turn off, Jackie would actually be fourth, not third. I thought at this point Ryan needs to shut up, but he didn't. He kept going. So Ryan keeps going on, and Jackie is completely silent at this point. And I just thought, Ryan, you need to shut up, because this woman is plotting on your demise, like, seriously. So he's standing there essentially telling his wife that she is not his type, that he has a weakness for dark-haired women. As he says, it slays him each and every time. Yeah, this is not Ryan's shining moment. It's not Ryan's shining moment at all, and I think it's another mark on Jackie's shit list for him. So all Jackie then turns around and says in the face of Ryan, that in terms of what he's saying, she says, yeah, fair, when you can literally see behind her eyes that she was not happy. Her whole face was showing full displeasure, and how Ryan basically made her feel a little bit shit in regards to his determination of why he put her third. So yeah. So Ryan said to the producers he is not there to hurt feelings. But I thought, but if you ain't there to hurt feelings and you're not going to be brutally honest and you're not going to bullshit in the matter in terms of your ratings, then of course you're going to hurt feelings. He failed. He hurt his wife's feelings at the end of the day. And this is why I didn't believe in Jackie's placement of Ryan. I don't believe that Jackie was being absolutely honest, yeah, in terms of putting Ryan first in the ranking of the photo shot. But I could be wrong. We never know. So Jackie talks to the producers and she talks about, like, you know, she's disappointed and unimpressed by Ryan. I kind of have to agree with her there, because I just don't understand why they're married. Like, seriously, I just don't see it with them, to be honest with you. Ryan has no self-reflection whatsoever. Although you can be honest, he doesn't know how to read cues of others. And, like, you know, he sees that whole task as a job well done when it was meant to, like, open a proper discussion in regards to your attractiveness boundaries and stuff like that, but it didn't. It just was literally a free for all, I think, for Ryan to cover somebody else's wife through picture form. We end up going back to Jackie and Ryan's apartment, and it's at night time. Tell me why this woman is in a trench coat and she's sitting on the couch crying. Again, I don't know if she practices how to cry in the mirror, because it doesn't come off believable to me, and that is just my opinion. She talks about how disappointed she is in Ryan, and you see Ryan at that point in bed watching TV, and she talks about how Ryan is a low effort man, which I have to agree with her there, because all he's showing right now is just proper low effort. He hasn't done anything out of the ordinary to say, oh yeah, he really likes this girl. Do you know what I mean? I swear when they get to the commitment ceremony though, they'll be all singing and dancing, and I'm a scream, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. So then further letters come in under the doors, and it's the audition video task. So this is a new thing now. So the couples literally get to watch snippets, and it is like second snippets of the auditions that their chosen husbands or wives had done to get themselves on the program, basically. So I thought, oh, it might spell trouble for some couples. Yeah, I was thinking more so of Jackie and Ryan because they're so pretentious. But anyway, so it was for them to get to see their partner on a deeper level in terms of what they desired and making themselves vulnerable. So I thought, okay, here we go. So it goes to Karina and Paul. It was short. It was really short. It didn't show Paul in a bad light at all. To be honest with you, he did come across as genuine, and it left Karina wanting to watch more. So Katie has still decided to take part in Confessions Week, and I thought, I'm glad this bit came up, because it would be good for her to see why she was chosen for Tim, depending on what they do show her. So let's just say Tim's audition video said a lot about him. He can no longer deny that the reason why he was turned off by Katie wasn't down to physicality, because it definitely was. So this man is talking about how looks is number one for him. Again, he showed this in how he treated Katie, and Katie is getting upset listening to this, as the truth is finally opened up to her in regards to Tim's words. She needed to hear those, but now it's time for her to go. So he was asked on his audition tape, Tim was, how he would be willing to tackle the situation if the initial spark was not there for him. This man sat and bald-faced lied to the producers and basically said he would be willing to give it a go, as he understood it would be a pressure cooker that first time. So they asked him if he would work at this, and the man said yes. I thought, yeah, you said yes until you saw Katie walk down the aisle, and then he didn't want to. I was like, yeah, come Katie, pick up what you have left right now and leave. Do not wait for this man to make his mind up, because it's time to go now. He's lost out on a rascal woman, let's just put it that way. Tim is an absolute dickhead, and I'll keep saying till the cows come home that this man can say his preferences, but his preferences did not prefer him. That's why he ended up coming on the show hoping against hope to be able to be placed or somebody be saddled with him who was his preference, and they couldn't run as quick because they were beating the marriage. That's when Tim would have made it work. The same with Elliot. That's why I said them two are cut from the same cloth, Elliot and Tim. So Katie says after watching, like, his audition tape was full of lies and complete and utter BS. And I'm like, it's true, but you're still there. That's the thing, you are still there. This audition tape of Tim's has opened up her eyes now, but she's still sitting there. There has to come a time where she says enough is enough, and I think at this point that was it. At the end of the day, it didn't need to go any further than that. So Katie's basically talking about how she still wants answers from him, and I'm just like, you may want your answers, but Tim's not going to give them to you, because Tim is a deflector, he's a gaslighter, and he's not honest, to say the least, and he likes to divert blame and not accept any responsibility. So Katie will not get those true and fluent answers that she's hoping for from this man, because he's an idiot. So Katie ends up taking off her ring at the end of the day and throwing it down on the table, because it's like, that's it, encumberment has gone at that point. So we go to another day of confessions week, and we go to Morena and Tony, and they're doing the rating of the couples. I always find it hard when older couples have to rate how they find the younger couples really attractive, because it's like, what would you necessarily have in common with them? But I'm like, hey ho, here we go. So Moreno's sitting at the table and saying that, you know, I'm not there to date or rate young men. And Tony she turns around, Tony turns around and says, but I'm a young man, I'm younger than you. And I'm like, yeah, by 4 years, she's only 57, dude. You're both still in your 50s, do you know what I mean? And I'm sure Morena's son and daughter are near enough the ages of some of those people in the photos. Me personally, if I was there, I would find it weird rating attractiveness, or how I feel that I feel attracted to them if they're in their 20s and their 30s. It just gives me a little bit of a ick factor there. So Morena does end up doing it, and she ends up putting Paul last. And the common thing, let's put it this way, when she's putting down the photos, the common thing is they didn't speak to her at the dinner party. There was no conversation with her at the dinner party, so she found it very, very, very disrespectful. Tony is looking at Morena like he does not know what to say. So he gets stum, and I thought, good on ya. Tony, you could see throughout this whole debacle, because Morena was talking, and she was talking, and she was talking, and Tony literally just shut off. Like, he literally just shut off. He literally just went into a different dimension, because Morena likes to talk. She doesn't allow or give space for Tony to talk or give an opinion, or when Tony tries to give an opinion, she will jump in and talk over him. So then Tony just sits there and literally just zones out, because he's like, what is the use if this woman is not going to allow me to talk at some point? So we go to Billy and Sierra, and they do the confessions letter writing task. So Billy's talking about how this is a hard one for him. So suffice to say, basically, Billy talks about the non-relationship that he had with his dad and how it has impacted on him. And he was hoping that, he's never told this to anybody else, really, especially partners that he's had in the past. And now he wants to be able to open himself up like that to Sierra, and hope that, she catches him when he falls. That's what it's about. And she did. She did catch him when she falls, because it was really emotional for Billy. And I understand where he's coming from when a father literally just kind of abandons you and doesn't want anything to do with you. So I know how that impacts you, especially as a child, but then growing up into adulthood when you don't have that kind of relationship with the father figure or the father in your life at the end of the day. So we are back to Hafwina and Adrian, and they get the auditions videos, and I just thought it was all excitement until it wasn't. So we get into it. So this man, we know Adrian doesn't want to be a stepfather, and that's my opinion. I really don't believe he wants to be a stepfather to Hafwina's son. But I'm thinking right now he's got it so good with this girl that he doesn't want to mess up, and that's why he's continuing to see if he'll be able to develop those feelings where he will be at a point to be able to be a stepfather to somebody else's child. I think he's too immature for that. That's my honest opinion. I really do think Adrian's too immature for that. But anyway, so the producers do ask Adrian now if he wants kids, and he said, yeah, of course. I would have had them yesterday. So they ask him, are you ready to be a dad? He said, yeah, for sure. That's what I thought. As long as they're yours, then yes, of course Adrian is ready to be a dad. He didn't say he was ready to be a dad to somebody else's child. Let's just put it this way. So Fuina basically said, like, she didn't say it at all. She didn't say it, but she looked like she didn't like what he said at all. So she talks about, like, you know, there's a physical attraction between them, that they get on well, that Adrian is a gay guy. But does that mean that he will make a great dad though to her 6-year-old child at the end of the day, when he already told Fuina that how he is now as the person that he is, he will not be able to accept her child equal to his own. So I've been waiting for them to literally open up this discussion. As Fuina has a child, she's a mom, he can't run away from that at the end of the day, and it can't be ignored through this. So Fuina says that's probably why that they were matched together, in terms of Adrian saying to the producers, like, you know, yes, he was ready to be a dad, yes, he would have had them yesterday, and all those kinds of comments. And that's probably, she's deducing that's probably why they did match them together. And Adrian does make a flippant comment, a really flippant comment, in terms of when he said to the producers, like, he would have had kids yesterday. It was a very flippant comment for him to make. I don't think he necessarily thought about what he said, because I believe in his head he thought that they still would not place him with someone who would already have children at the end of the day, because he is talking about him wanting to be a dad. Those feelings may already be there, so that's probably, if Fuina's right, they went down that route because of what he said. So there, as I said, there was no thought process to his comments at all. This man turned around to Fuina and had the cheek to say to her, he didn't say he was ready to be a dad to somebody else. And I just thought to myself, mate, you do realise that you are talking to a ready-made mother, and this conversation was hella jarring, like hella jarring. And how Fuina continue to sit so close to him is beyond me when he's saying these things, especially in regards to her being a mother, in essence dismissing her son and that he is there. I think it's a really reasonable and ready answer for me to a question to say, are you ready to accept that I have a child? That is the question that needed to be asked of Adrian, like, fully. Do you understand that if we decide to remain married, you will be involved in my son's life? He will grow up calling you dad if you decide to continue this with me. And if you cannot say that is what you want, then it's not going to happen between us. That's what should be talked about, but it's not. So Adrian's terminology and the language that he continues to use when he's talking about Fuina, and especially around her child, is off-putting. When he talks about someone else's kid, is off-putting. It's disgraceful at the end of the day. This man literally placed Fuina's child as a non-entity when he speaks about her child and her being a mother. Like, they're separated in some way, shape or form, and it's gross. I don't believe Adrian is going to change his view on it. I really don't believe he is. So if Fuina does challenge Adrian that he is not letting her in, nor is he open to seeing her as a mum at the end of the day, this man responds with, I told you from the second day that you saying you had a kid, there is going to be a problem. I just thought, dude, if someone said this to me, and to be fair, from what has been shown, Adrian definitely didn't say it that straightforward to Fuina. He really did not. I'll be like, it's done now. Like, seriously, it's done now. My child is not like a freaking competition type of coin that you can flip and toss. Do you want him? Don't you want him? Sort of thing. No, man. I don't care about the sex that you have. I don't care about the chemistry you have. I don't care about the current like bond or good relationship that you have right now. That's not the be all and end all when you have another person, a little person to think of, and he's dismissing that person within his language. I don't know. I'm built different, because no matter how attracted I am to that man, My child comes first, and I couldn't have that man deny my child to my face. Like, seriously, we would not be talking. I don't know. I really don't know. If we know, for me, I don't think she's looking at Adrian's mindset at all. I think she thinks it can be changed, and I think she feeds into what he says because of the fact that they have such a good connection with each other at the moment, but not necessarily thinking that, you know what, I might have to protect my child against all of this, because at the end of the day, when it comes to Friends and Family Week, what are you going to do? You can't really necessarily introduce your child to a man who possibly will not be willing to accept him at the end of all of this. So Afua says she doesn't think she and Adrian can get past a surface level relationship. She feels angry, she's hurt and upset, and she turns to Adrian and said, but this is why we shelved this conversation. And I just thought the conversation about her son should never have been shelved. Never ever. And the month of Sunday should it ever have been shelved. And I just felt for myself, I couldn't feel too much empathy towards Afua in that moment, because she's allowing, I suppose, in some part, for this situation to continue and fester and not have a full discussion about it. So Afua goes on on Adrian, asking him, why is he still here if he doesn't want someone with children? And I thought it's a moot point arguing this point with Adrian at the end of the day, because she's heard what she needed to, and he's not even at a stage of accepting her son. So why is she there is what I'm asking. Never mind asking him, why is she still there with this man? Why is she deciding to still continue down this vein, down this route with this man, with every little pretty phrase that he says? Because he will say these pretty little words. Don't get me wrong, Adrian has the gift of the motherfucking gab. Let's just put it that way. He knows how to say things. He knows how to extricate himself from situations. And this is another one he's able to talk around. And Afua gets talked around each and every time. And that comes up in further and further episodes, and I will get to those. So Adrian says, yeah, that he's there to see what happens. And I'm just kind of like, but her child's life is not Russian roulette at the end of the day for him to decide whether this marriage is going to work, or for him to decide whether he's going to accept her child or not. He's not a crash test dummy. Sometimes I just can't with these people. Like, seriously, Adrian, I believe, he's talking to the producers at the time, where he's saying that he's continuing to try and keep an open mind when it comes to Afua being a mother. And I thought, but the way in which he talks is not showing that he's keeping an open mind, and I don't think Adrian can compute those things together at all. So the fact he says Afua ticks 8 out of 10 boxes left me absolutely flabbergasted. I thought, these people are not ready for marriage. So he says he would like to have that first of having a child with someone else's first, and he feels very strongly about that. And that's why I said, then why are you here with Afua for, Adrian? Like, seriously, why are you continuing this then, if that's how you feel? So it moves on, and you see Katie invites Ashley and Jamie over to her apartment. So I kind of questioned, like, you know, now that Katie's seen the wood through the trees at this point, she's taken her wedding ring off, why she's still there. Because for me, I'd be like, answers be damned. At the end of the day, my pride would not have let me stay there any freaking longer. So Katie does fill in Ashley and Jamie about what's happened in regards to Tim. So Jamie said that Tim is a wussy pussy. Like that word, a wussy pussy. I do like that word. And I was kind of hoping that Jamie and Ashley would be the ones to tell her to let it go and to let Tim go now that it's time for her to go. So it did look as though Katie was going to leave off this episode, but she does not. Let me just put it that way, and we'll soon realise why she's still there when I get to it, especially when we get to the confessions of the couch, as I call it, aka the confessions. What is it? Confessions therapy? Is that what they call it on this show? I always say confessions of the couch, I never get the right terminology in terms of what it is that they're supposed to be doing on that couch, to be honest with you. So they introduced a brand new task to Confessions Week. It's called the X-Files task. And this is a set of questions for the people to be open about their ex-partners. So the question was to Sierra from Billy, like, what have you learned about yourself from dating your ex? And Sierra talked about the fact that she didn't necessarily trust her gut as often, because she ended up dating a man that had a wife and a kid from the country that he was from at the time, and she ignored the intuition basically telling herself that something was off about this man. So then it moves to Karina and Paul, and Paul asked Karina, like, did you have a healthy sex life with your ex? And Karina said, like, she had a healthy sex life. So she said to Paul, if you could do it anywhere other than a bed, where would it be? So he talks about, like, you know, how he likes spontaneous moments, which is normal for most men, I think, at the end of the day, in my experience. If you were to dress sexy for them, this, that and the other, it's the norm. So we go to Jackie and Ryan on this one. And this is why I say that Jackie's petty levels knows no bounds, because she was determined to get revenge on Ryan for the freaking photo task, right? I just thought, I hope it don't backfire on your arse at the end of the day. So Jackie is going to go in and all out. She basically says that she's not going to be reserved in her honesty. And I just thought, at that point, when they say hurt people, this is exactly what we're seeing right here with these two. So Ryan is smacking his hands together saying he's ready. And I thought, mate, from the little smirk, smize, whatever you want to call it, on Jackie's face, you honestly have no idea what is going to be coming your way. So Ryan asks the question, what have you learned about yourself from dating your ex? So when Ryan answered that question, he may as well have just put a bold neon sign up there and said that he was in a toxic relationship and he loved it. I think that Ryan is kind of not reading the signs with Jackie. He definitely ain't reading the signs with Jackie at all, because in her pettiness, Jackie can be quite harmful and hurtful. Let's just put it that way. So Ryan asked Jackie, can you physically describe your ex to me? The way, I'm going to call it the witch smile, came out on her face, and then she tried to school it straight after. Was epic. I thought Jackie was ready. She was ready for a question like this. So she listed that he was 6'4", he was tall, he was blonde, he was blue-eyed, and he had a body built like a god. Ryan turned around and said, what if I said to you my ex had a godlike body? Man was getting head up. Jackie says, well, I wouldn't be surprised if you did say that. So Ryan sees it as Jackie giving her ex a huge compliment. And I thought, well, you asked the girl to describe your ex. She did. At the end of the day, she had fun doing so, because she had fun watching Ryan fall out from the godlike comment. At the end of the day, Jackie was being hella petty right now. So Ryan says to the producers that, you know, what Jackie did, like what she said in terms of the godlike body, it lacked class. And I thought, says the man who placed his wife third against Ciara, Karina and Ree, saying how the dark hair always slays him. Now that lacked class and tact, to be honest with ya. Man's getting a taste of his own medicine and he didn't like it. Ryan actually fixed his mouth to say that Jackie has some growing up to do in terms of considering his feelings. And I thought, but mate, in the photo ranking challenge, you didn't consider your wife's feelings in the slightest. You went, honesty is the best policy, and you literally held that to account. Yeah, so now you're getting your just desserts at the end of the day. Ooh. I swear to God, some of these people are just extra and so different. The next question was, if your ex proposed while you were still together, would you have said yes? Jackie didn't hesitate. She went, yes. Ryan's face was a picture. Oh, so Ryan was basically said, what, even if you were together for 6 months and you would have said yes? And Jackie went, yeah, I would have said yes. I would have married him. I would have got engaged to him. Man said, maybe you should fly over there and be with him. Oh my God, this is what the experts meant about this task will bring out some sensitivity in people, because Ryan fully spiraled. His ego was smashed to smithereens, and this is why I said the reason why Jackie essentially put this man first in the photo ranking challenge, not because I think she was head up fully attracted to this man, but she knew this man had a fucking fragile ego. And he wouldn't be able to cope with being ranked lower than freaking first. Let's just put it that way. So Jackie admits that, to the producers, she wanted to get under Ryan's skin. But I fear in acting in that manner, I'd have to say, as you can see me giggling, although it's funny, it shows Jackie is not as emotionally mature as she thinks she is at the end of the day. And it could so easily go the other way. But anyway, that is where that episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask my renegades, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so we know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1K. Peace out.